We all grew up with fairy tales that start with once upon a time and end with happily ever after. Our music claims that all you need is love, and that when you're in love, you can't smile without you, I can't laugh, and I can't sing. But is that really a solid foundation for a relationship? No, it's not. And you're in for disillusionment and heartache if you believe that you'll ride off into the sunset with your fair maiden or handsome prince, and the birds will sing to you as you proclaim your love for the rest of your life. Don't get me wrong, love is an important part of marriage, but relationships must be founded on open communication, common values and goals, commitment, and selflessness, which will promote love and help it to grow in the long run. Open communication is a vital foundational element for a lasting marriage. You have to be willing to share your heart and emotions as well as your desires and needs. Be forthright with the person with whom you are sharing your life. Uncommunicated needs and desires build walls and resentments which can undermine the marriage and eat away at the love that started everything. An important element of communication is trust. You have to be willing to trust that your spouse will listen to you and respect your opinions and needs, which leads to listening. To effectively communicate, you have to be an active listener. Everyone has a need to be heard. If you don't listen to what the other person is saying, not only will you miss important information they may be trying to give to you, but you may end up giving your spouse the message that they're not important to you. As you learn to listen to each other, you learn to work through the trials and heartaches, which is important to overcoming challenges that will come. Since there is opposition in all things, and there will be no convenient sunsets and horses to ride off on, just keep talking and you can get through a lot. Next, it's important to have common values and goals. It's commonly thought that opposites attract, but in reality, strong marriages have more in common than opposition. According to the National Marriage Project of 2004, the more alike you are with someone in terms of your social background, your lifestyle, your values, and so forth, the more likely you are to be attracted to that person. More importantly, the more alike you are, the better your chances of having a lasting and satisfying relationship. Sometimes people who are unlike each other do get romantically involved and marry. Such marriages have a lower probability of being both lasting and satisfying. It's also important to agree on goals such as how many children, when to have them, and who will take care of them, or your faith, not just how strongly you believe in God, but also that you both belong to the same religion. Non-similar religious beliefs can cause conflicts that may never be resolved and will drive a wedge in the relationship. And both of you need to be working toward eternity. If you keep in mind your goals for eternity, it's easier to work through conflict and build up the marriage. Third is your commitment to your spouse. If you both agreed that divorce is not an option except in cases of abuse, you learn to work together to solve conflicts. In Lauer it says, those who are committed to their spouses as persons have fewer marriage problems, express their love for their mates more often, and have higher levels of marital satisfaction. Your commitment can tide you over during hardships. My parents remained committed during a particularly rough patch in their marriage, but they worked through it and are now happier than they have ever been before in their marriage. And this last Monday, they celebrated their 36th wedding anniversary. Last is selflessness. When you focus on yourself, you lose sight of what's really important. You forget to show your spouse you love them, and as a result, your love for your spouse and their love for you will diminish. Service is one way to increase love. There are countless stories in the church of giving service to those around you and learning to love them through that service. It creates the love of God that overlooks flaws and mistakes and blesses both the one served and the one giving the service. Bishops and other leaders learn to love the people they serve and are blessed with an increased capacity to love those they served. If it works for non-marriage relationships, it will work for marriages too. Selfishness is all about what I can get. The more you get, the more you need, until you're an endless pit of craving fulfillment that can only come through that can only be fulfilled through forgetting yourself. Selfishness manifests itself in many ways, in something as simple as ignoring your spouse when you know they need to talk, or something as serious as having an affair. Love is wonderful and beautiful, but it's not enough to make a marriage last. That initial euphoric feeling does fade, and people can get caught up in believing that it means the marriage is over because it has faded. But love changes. It has to deepen and grow into something amazing if it's to find any lasting meaning. Relationships must be founded on open communication, common values and goals, commitment, and selflessness. These four things build love and deepen it, so when trials of life come, there is a strong foundation to cling to get through everything. That initial love is fleeting. Make sure you have the tools to build something that will last through eternity.